Hi, I'm Dave, and this is One Breath at a Time. Okay, this one's a bit different. It's not chapter 6. This one came out of a message I got in comments when I asked, anybody have any issues. So this fella lives in an older property in Saskatchewan. Says he has asbestos in his roof, on the floors. What's my words about it? Sounded sarcastic at first, but then when I delve deeper into it, thinking about it, I think, well, is he concerned? Or was he just being trying to test me? I don't know, make sure I wasn't bullshitting. So instead of it turning into a proper conversation, because I'm not a very good typist on the keyboard, more of a one finger symphony, one letter at a time, so it takes me forever. And it's something I know a little bit about. I know everything about it, because if I did, I'd be a brain box. So I thought I'd make a video to explain, not just to him, but to everybody. And it might just help you guys too. He wasn't too sure by the sound of his message. Older house. When you buy an older house or want to rent an older house, not so much renting, because you can't really get an inspection done on a rental property. It's basically what you see is what you get. If you don't like it, you don't rent it. But you just have to make sure that you know what you're getting, especially with older properties. But if you're buying one, like I did you get an inspection done? And if you did it actually mention asbestos? Now, a lot of them don't, and that's where people get caught out, because these inspectors are not qualified to check for asbestos. They're qualified to check the building codes and make sure everything's so tickety-boo, yes, it's got good bones. Mine did. Beautiful, I knew from experience that my house contained asbestos from the year it was built, and I knew that I was gonna completely gut the place. So I knew what to look out for. And my house, especially my attic space, has asbestos in it, and I know that if I leave it alone, I don't store nothing up there. I've been up there once, and once only. Not actually up there, but just opened up the door and looked in, to make sure it was fully insulated and covered at the eaves, and that was it. Door shut, left alone. You leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. Do not disturb it. Now, some of you, like I said, why this matters to me. A lot of you don't know that I do have my asbestos abatement ticket. I learned that trade because of what I've been dealing with myself, and because I wanted to know exactly and understand what I was living around instead of just guessing. Plus, the company I work for needed asbestos lagging removed from an old 1904 building. Used to be a post office in their basement, and I had the old side-by-side huge boilers, coal-fired, I guess, back in those days, because you could actually see the old coal chute in the wall, a huge basement. It took me and this little lad 3 months, fully booted and suited, not fun, very hot, we did just wear a mask, breathing mask with I think it was a P90 filter. We wore the full face, to cover everything nice and tight, put your hands over it, trying to breathe in, nothing, you know, so you knew you were airtight, no clean shaven, white suit, wrapped up, double gloves, or gloves, then wrapped in gloves again, you know, in with these special bags. So yeah, it wasn't fun, but it was nice to know I was doing some good, you know. So this isn't me repeating something I've read, you know. Anybody can just read something and just go with it, you know. This is the stuff I've done with my own hands in my own house. When I found asbestos linoleum and tiling in the bedrooms, and I wish I kept the pictures. Beautiful design on them, you know, very, very 40s. I knew it was asbestos straight off the bat. So I had my house was empty, completely gutted, everything. Nobody was living in here. I was renting, so I masked up, suited up, and I won these pump action spray bottle things, you know. And I sprayed the floor, got it completely soaking wet, and then used a knife, cut it very gently, bit by bit, in little sections. Bagged it in a proper asbestos bag, not too full. Make sure there's no sharp edges if you can help it, you know, sometimes impossible. Then double bagged it, and every time you bag it, you gotta wrap it with tape, fold it over, put it in another bag, wrap that up, put it to one side. These bags are bright yellow, and it says on there, hazardous material, asbestos, you know, and then they got to get taken off to a site, you know, to get buried. So that was how I did it, but I was confident to do it because I had the ticket. I had the training. I knew what to expect. But a lot of you guys don't, you know. So my old adage, and there's one thing I want you to walk away with, if nothing else. If it's there and it's not disturbed, it won't disturb you. Attic spaces especially. How often do you go up to your attic, you know? If you've got asbestos insulation sitting up there, quiet, minding his own business, leave it be. Don't go poking around up there for the fun of it. The danger isn't the asbestos in your house. The danger is airborne particulates of the asbestos. Undisturbed, it stays where it is. Disturbed, you're in a world of hurt. It gets everywhere. You don't see it. That's the problem. But because, and this is the bit that people get wrong, it's not just attic insulation. That's the one thing everybody thinks about. But it's in the flooring. I've heard it's in drywall, especially in the mud they used. The stuff they skimmed the walls with back in the day, it was amazing stuff, you know. They put it everywhere because it worked, and nobody knew any better at the time. I didn't know any better at the time. The guys I worked with didn't know any better at the time. Nobody did. So don't assume your house is safe just because you can't see pink or I wouldn't say pink insulation because the R20 now is pink and that doesn't have any asbestos, but just because you can't see the asbestos, especially in an older property, 1940s, 1950s, assume it's there. But don't assume the worst either. You know, don't sit there now listening to this panicking. Oh my God, we're gonna die, you know. Don't panic over nothing. The point is, you don't know until somebody checks it. So, what to actually do? So here's a practical bit. If you're buying or already live in an older property, Anything built before the 80s, I think that's when they started banning it, late 70s, early 80s. Treat it as assume yes until proven otherwise. Don't just take it for granted that there's no asbestos in there. Get a proper asbestos inspection, not a general home inspector who will eyeball it. A specialist who is trained and equipped to actually test for it. He won't disturb it, he will probe it. You know, you've got these special machines now, and he'll take a sample. Again, he'll be fully suited and booted, you know. He'll take samples and you can tell it straight away. General inspectors, you know, your building inspectors when you're buying a house, will sometimes miss it entirely or flag it without testing because it's not always their speciality. If it comes back positive from the asbestos dude, ask yourself, can you afford to deal with this properly? Excuse me. Because here's one rule that matters more than any other. Do not attempt this yourself. And I mean that. You need a specialist abatement team. Full stop. No questions about it. Unless, of course, you have a ticket, like I do. You know, but I still need a team with me. You just can't do it on your own. I was lucky. You know, I did mine slowly, bit by bit. I didn't touch the attic. But the flooring, yeah, you could carpet over it. You could floor over it. But I would know it was still there, you know. So I thought, no, it's coming up. So I did mine piece by piece, slowly. If it took me over a week to do one bedroom, so be it. I did it safely. So like I said, this isn't a weekend project with a mask from a hardware store, you know, N95 I think they call it. I've got the ticket for this work. So even I don't take it lightly. Not anymore. If you're renting, now that's a whole new can of worms. So if you're in a rental and you're worried about it, you've got two options. Really, that's it, two options. And neither one of them is brilliant. You can move out, which sounds simple, but it's a rough ask in this market. We all know that. Or you push the landlord to deal with it. And I'll be honest with you, most landlords won't touch that with a 10-foot barge pole. They'll say, see ya, you don't want to rent, bye-bye, you know? Which is sad. And it's expensive. It's disruptive. And a lot of them would rather not know, you know? So tread carefully. Know your rights, where you live, and don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. So, that's the long version basically of what started out as a message from one bloke asking about his old house. Assume if there is a place is old enough, get it tested properly, especially if you own it or you want to buy it. Spend that extra money. Your well-being and health is more important. Know your don't touch it yourself if it's positive, if it comes back positive. And if it's not bothering you, especially in the attic, don't touch it. You know, a lot of times you want to rip a wall out, you know, like I did here, you know. Made a one bedroom bigger, got rid of the dining room, made an extra bathroom, you know, all the while wearing a full piece mask because I don't know. I did not know. And I wasn't going to get it tested because I knew in the back of my mind that, okay, it's an older property. I don't know if you hear that in the background. We got one hell of a thunderstorm going on out there. And it is absolutely pissing it down. So, as if we didn't need enough rain. So yeah, get it tested properly. Don't touch it yourself if positive. Like I said, if it's not bothering you, don't touch it. But if you do want to do renovations, you know that get suited and booted, you know, and tackle it yourself, or get a team in, you know. So that's it from me. If you do have an old place, and there is a lot of old places here, you know, and you're not sure, because obviously you don't walk into a house, especially an older house, there will be warning, may contain asbestos, signs all over the walls, on the ceilings, on the floor, you know. A lot of it will be hidden under carpets, in the attic space, behind paint, you know. So if you're not sure, get somebody qualified, you know, a team or a guy first, obviously. Get him in to look at it before you do anything else. He'll test it for you. He'll tell you whether it's a real bad stuff, you know. We done the boiler room of this old, I think I've mentioned before, this old building, old library, 1904. And like I said, it was fed by these two boilers, coal-driven boilers, and the stuff wrapped around the boilers was the real McCoy, the very bad asbestos, the stuff you wouldn't want to touch with that 10-foot barge pole. So we didn't. What we did was got rid of the extra little pipe work sticking at the top, steam pipes or whatever, cleared them off, and then basically I think I used 3/4 inch ply, 2x4s, and I built basically walls around it, 4 walls and a roof around the boilers, sealed it up, and then just took photographs of the 2 boilers first beforehand, sealed it up, made sure that the 3/4 inch ply was actually sealed, put in place, screwed against the 2x4s, and then put the pictures, printed them off and stuck it on the walls, so anybody in the future, not the people that work there now because they know, but in the future would walk down into that basement and see, oh, that's the boilers behind this, there's the pictures, asbestos, we don't touch it. Or the other pipe work which was no longer in use, they wanted to be basically all the insulation, asbestos insulation taken off, which we did. And then we actually started removing the old pipe work. That was tough, hot, very hot, especially wearing all that gear, you know. But we did it correctly, we did it properly, and we did it safely, you know. And we went through gallons and gallons, hundreds of gallons of water, you know. And it wasn't just spray, cut, and chop it in bags. You know, you had to put these specialized bags over the pipe, so they sealed like at the top, and then you stapled it all together and you sealed it, and then the sides. But inside the bag you had your cutters, your water spray bottle, a knife, slice it, and then you put your hands in these gloves up inside the bag, and you did all the work. And my God, that was tough, because you were standing on steps, but the gloves were lower, so you had to bend and then up and then work, you know. And obviously it's sealed, It's warm down there. Condensation built up inside the bag because you're using water. It was tough to see, you know. I wear glasses, as you can tell. These are ones I got just from a store. They're not prescription glasses. They're basically for reading, you know. They're great for work, you know. I take them off like that down there when I need them, like now reading, you know. I love these, but I can't wear them because you wear a full face mask and it squishes everything and it hurts, it digs in. So yeah, be nice if there's an invention for someone, make millions, you know, face mask with prescription lens on it, you know. So again, if you're concerned about it, seek professional advice. Don't take my word for it, because I am not a professional at this. Even though, yeah, I have my abatement ticket. Again, I know a little bit about it. It's not nice having it in your house, but if you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone, you know, until such a time as you want to do any form of renovations. Then get a team in, you know. So that's enough from me. Again, please comment, you know, how have you coped? Did you know, you know, how are you coping with an older property? Are you just leaving it? Are you getting a team in? So don't forget. It give me a bloody heart attack. Did you hear that? Holy lick. Wow. This has been going on since, this woke me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it is now 1:45 in the afternoon. So, yeah. Wow, I should have had the door shut, but I like fresh air coming in. Anyway, so on that note, after nearly dying of a heart attack, not so much of asbestos exposure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give that little bell a tinkle. Heart's racing here. Oh, the lights are going off. We lost power about 7 times. It comes again. Also, you know, take care of each other. Stay safe. Remember, take one breath at a time. And I'll see you in chapter 6. Take care. Bye-bye.